Hi, it's Savannah O'Gwynn from Savannah Land 2. Today I'm going to share part 3 of my Creating Friends series. I thought of another way to create fun friends for children to play with. My niece and nephew will be visiting me in a couple of weeks, and I have absolutely no toys for young children. So I needed to create something that would entertain these two kids. That's how I originally came up with the ideas of Creating Friends and this series. Now for today's project, I was inspired by the idea of taking these friends along with us in the car, making it kind of like a traveling theater. The friends we create today are really simple. If you know how to die cut, stamp, and glue, you can make these friends. You're going to need a couple of supplies. First, you're going to want to have some paper or cardstock, and this is another great project for scraps. You're also going to want to have a magnetic sheet, and I'm just using an old magnet that my church passed out. You also want to have some glue, and you could use a glue stick, a sticker maker, adhesive runner, any of those would work. You also want to have your die cutting machine, and I'm using my Cuttlebug along with my A, B, and C plates. And you will also need your paper Smooches, stamps, and dies. Now for my friends that I've created today, I've used a ton of paper Smooches, stamps, and dies, but I'm going to specifically show you how to create these friends using the paper Smooches 9 Live set and coordinating die. Oh, and you're also going to need a little container or a metal box to hold your friends. And I've used this box that was actually part of a packaging for chipboard pieces. So to get started, first you want to clean off and clean out your metal box. And by that I mean remove any contents and remove any stickers that you find on your box. Now removing the stickers is really easy if you have Goo Gone, but you want to be very careful with the plastic areas. Let me pull over my original box. When I cleaned off the stickers on this front area, I think there was one here and then one on the bottom, I accidentally got Goo Gone in this little crevice, and it was very difficult to get it out. And I actually had to leave it open like this and air dry for at least 3 weeks so that it didn't ruin anything on the inside and it didn't keep dripping Goo Gone down there. So you want to be very careful with that. Once you've cleaned your box, you want to die cut and stamp your images. Now you're going to need 2 die cuts of every image. One that's magnetic, you can, if I flip this over you can see it on the back there, and one that's made of paper. Now when you're die cutting magnetic sheets, you want to be very careful. Notice that this magnetic sheet is very, very thin. And if I hold up the original, it's a little thicker, and that's because I actually removed this front piece. And the way I did that was I took a paper piercer, placed it in the center, and poked down. And I did that very carefully, making sure I didn't poke myself. And then I just ran this to the side. Just like that. And now I can remove this front top piece. And that actually makes it quite thin. I'm not sure you can see it in there, but you can definitely feel this side is thicker. Now, once you have your top piece removed, you're going to want to layer your plates, and this is for a Cuttlebug. So I lay my C plate, or my A plate first, and then my B plate, and then I lay my magnetic piece down, and then I top that with my die. Now, this is where I want to stop for a second, because if I pull over the image, you notice that the cat has its tail to the left side, and when I die cut this, I also want the tail towards the left. If I die cut my magnet on top, then when I finish, the image will be inverted. So you want to make sure that you place your die down, or your magnetic sheet down with the magnet on the bottom, and then look at your die, making sure that it matches your stamp, placing that down on your magnetic sheet. So you want to layer your AB magnetic sheet and then your die, and then top this stack with your C plate and run that through your die cutting machine. Now once you run it through, you'll have two sheets and you will decorate your paper sheet, and you can embellish it any way you want. I didn't embellish mine very much because I know children will be touching it, and it could ruin easily, so I didn't do much to my embellishments. Next, you want to run your paper die cut piece through a sticker maker to add adhesive on the back. Now this is where you can just use a glue stick or an adhesive runner. Anything's perfect for this. And to finish it off, you're just going to join these two die cuts together. So you'll remove your backing and line up your edges. And you want to be very careful to line up your edges well so there's no hangover. And that's it. You have a magnetic friend for a travel game or theater. I'll put them on here so you can see them. Now, I created some other friends as well. And because I wanted to create different characters and different scenes, I used lots of different paper Smooches stamp sets and dies. For my first one, I created a nautical theme by creating a sea using the border 1 die. And then I also used the briny blue and Wicked Nautical stamp set to create an anchor and a boat, and I created lots of little friends so that they can pretend they're in the water. And then I also created, here's that tree. I created a tree so they could be outside or near a forest. And I've got a little lovin' stamp set and coordinating dies for these. And I created a little crown for him. And I used the word bubbles so that they could be talking to each other. And I also created, using the clouds dies, it's a nice sunny day with white clouds, but then all of a sudden it gets dark and there's a rain cloud, so I made him into a gray cloud. And then my favorite scene is using the opposite piece of the borders die. These actually match up perfectly. I created a dirt pile for a little garden that the little bunny or someone could be growing, and he could be watering his little plants. His little hands on this side, so he could be watering his little plants, and here's his tomato. So this is a fun little project that you can create lots of different scenes for your theater. Now I didn't stop there. I also used, let me pull it over here, the Alpha Whimsy die set to create an entire alphabet so that the kids could practice spelling. Now I die cut my letters the exact same way. I created one out of magnets and then one out of pattern paper. I ran the pattern paper through a sticker machine, and now I can line up my images, and now they can spell out words. And I didn't even stop there. These little alphabets are really small, and so I wanted to create a little package for them. And so I used let me pull it over here, the shopping bag die to create a magnetic shopping bag die for inside the box. And I die cut it the same way. I die cut it from paper, and I also die cut it from magnets, and then I attached them together. And I've got this little bag so that they will stay neatly inside the little shopping bag, and then I can place this right inside the center. I actually can place it anywhere on this back piece, but I like to put him over here in the left. And he'll stay right there, and so will all the alphabets. And so now my traveling theater is ready. Now I hope that you will get creative with your paper Smooches stamps and dies, and that you will create some magnetic friends or even little alphabets for your children to play with in the car. And if you do create a project like this, I would love to check it out. So please leave a comment below with a link to your creation or to your blog. Thanks so much for watching.